Hallo, ich bin's, Robin, Deutschlehrer mit Core Languages, and today I'm walking around the streets of downtown Charleston and I have a question for you. Has this ever happened to you? Have you watched a movie by yourself that you really liked? You really enjoyed it, and then the next day you can't wait to talk about it? Now, this may seem like an ordinary chit-chat kind of question, but from a grammatical perspective, it is anything but ordinary. Two things are happening here. The first thing that's happening is we're using what's called a phrasal verb to talk about something. I can't say to talk the movie. You can talk about a movie. The second thing that's happening is I made two sentences about a movie, but in only one of the sentences I'm mentioning the movie. I'm saying, have you watched a movie? And then wanted to talk about it. The it refers back to the movie. Now, in German, we do a very similar thing, but we use what's called da compounds. Da compounds help us refer back to something that was previously mentioned without mentioning it again. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to form and how to use da compounds so that you can incorporate them into your German sentences. I would say los geht's und viel Spaß beim Deutschlernen.
Da compounds. In English and in German, there are some verbs that use prepositions to convey a specific meaning. In German, these prepositions can be combined with da or dar to shorten the expression in a sentence and to refer back to something. We use da plus r when the preposition begins with a vowel or an umlaut. For example, der Junge geht über die Straße. The boy goes across the street or goes over the street. The preposition is über, and I can shorten this expression by creating a da compound, darüber. Geht darüber. He goes over it, or he goes across it. Die Frau steht auf der Brücke. The woman stands on the bridge. I can shorten this expression by creating a da compound with the preposition auf and da plus r. Sie steht darauf. She's standing on it. Da compounds can be used only when it is clear from the context what is being referred to, and they cannot be used with people or animals. There are some prepositions that cannot be used to form a da compound with da. Außer, gegenüber, ohne und seit. But some directional adverbs, such as hin, her, and hinein, can be used with da. For example, dahin or daher. Look at the following two examples and pay attention to how we are shortening the sentence or the expression. Der Junge geht ohne seinen Hund spazieren. The dog goes without his dog for a walk. I cannot form a da compound with ohne. I cannot say darone, but I can use a personal pronoun to refer to the dog, and I can use a personal pronoun to refer to the boy. Geht ohne ihn spazieren. He goes without him for a walk. Die Frau steht gegenüber der Straße. I can shorten the sentence by using a personal pronoun for die Frau, sie, but I cannot use a personal pronoun to shorten the expression gegenüber der Straße. And I cannot form a da compound with gegenüber. I cannot say da gegenüber. So I can only say sie steht gegenüber der Straße. She stands opposite the street. In sentences, sometimes prepositions also go with personal pronouns, and we can use personal pronouns to refer back to a person or a noun with its article. And using a personal pronoun helps me shorten the sentence and add variation. But I cannot use da with people. To use personal pronouns, we have to remember how they change in the cases. Here are the personal pronouns for the nominative, the accusative, and the dative case. Look at the following two examples using the word warten auf, to wait for. I can say, wir warten auf Gabriele. We're waiting for Gabrielle. And because Gabrielle is a person, I cannot use the da compound darauf. I can say, wir warten auf sie. We're waiting for her. The sentence wir warten auf das Konzert also uses the preposition auf, but in this example, we're referring to a thing or an event and not a person. So we can use the da compound darauf. Wir warten darauf. We're waiting for it. Da compounds can also occur in the first part of a sentence preceding a dependent clause but not a relative clause. In these cases, the da compound is anticipatory, and the entire dependent clause is the object of the preposition that is used in the da compound. For example, der Mann ist dafür, dass Menschenrechte geschützt werden müssen. Here, the da compound dafür precedes the dependent clause. If I were to translate the sentence word for word, it would go, the man is for that human rights must be protected. Sometimes da compounds have additional translations or meanings that are not directly depending on the preposition. Here are some common da compounds and their additional meanings. Dabei, dadurch, dafür, dagegen, daher, damit, danach, daneben, darauf, darin, darum, darunter, dazu. Here are some examples or Beispiele of sentences using da compounds. Ich hänge ein Poster an die Wand. Daran habe ich schon viele gehängt. I'm hanging a poster on the wall. On that, I have already hung many. Daran refers back to the wall using the preposition an and da plus r. Die Bücher liegen auf dem Tisch. The books are laying on the table. Eine Tasse steht auch darauf. A cup is also on it. Darauf refers back to the table. Die Lampe steht neben der Couch. The lamp is next to the couch, or literally, the lamp stands next to the couch. Daneben gibt es einige Bücher. Next to it are several books. Daneben refers back to the couch. Wir sind im Opernhaus. We are at the opera house. Die Ausstattung darin ist sehr schön. The decoration in there or therein is very beautiful. Let's practice. Üben wir. Look at the following two examples and see if you can form a da compound. Sie stehen vor der Tür. They're standing in front of the door. Sie stehen. I can form a da compound with the preposition vor and da. Sie stehen davor. They're standing in front of it. And how about this example? Das Kind sitzt zwischen seinen Eltern. The child sits between his parents. I cannot form a da compound for people. So I can only say, das Kind sitzt zwischen ihnen. The child sits between them. Look at the following question and see if you can use a personal pronoun or a da compound in the answer. Hast du mit Hans über seinen Nobelpreis gesprochen? Have you spoken with Hans about his Nobel Prize? Nein, ich habe nicht. Now I could say mit ihm darüber gesprochen. I have not spoken about it with him. Look at the following two examples and see if you can create a da compound or if you have to use a personal pronoun. Ich habe viel von der Geschichte gelernt. I have learned a lot from the history or from the story, depending on context. I could say, ich habe viel davon gelernt. In this example, I can use a da compound. And how about this example? Ich habe viel von Herrn Sinkler gelernt. I've learned a lot from Mr. Zinkler. In this example, we cannot use a da compound because we're referring to a person. So I have to say, ich habe viel von ihm gelernt. I have learned a lot from him.
Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to use da compounds in German. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to comment. Or if you're interested in joining one of our German courses with a live instructor, feel free to message us directly. Das war's. Vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.